Hello everyone, TheOntarioGardener here. Hope you can see me. So today there's no gardening, there's no bees. You guys can see me, I think. I'm going to be installing or showing you how I am installing these Category 1. Of course, we're going to have a delivery coming in 2 seconds. Category 1 quick hitch in a sense. So I have a quick hitch for my tractor, which is where we're at my house right now. Got the tractor right here. You can probably see part of it. I'll show you in a second. And basically what I have a quick attach. So basically it's this U-shaped piece of metal that has hooks on the end, similar to this, and it has a bar at the top. So it's a set thing. And some implements, you can't use a set top link. You have to be able to use a floating top link or one that's adjustable, which is what I have here. You guys definitely can't see me. There we go. So I ended up purchasing these. These are a few $100. This is a brand called Pat's. I'm not sure what exactly they're called. Quick attach, quick hitches. Made in USA. Again, I'm up in Canada, but these are shipped from Kentucky. And yeah, they come with a bunch of pieces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you, and I already did one, and I'll show you what it looks like completed, and then I'll show you how to hook this one up. It'll be exactly the same process. All right, so we got the one hooked up here. Basically, what this does, if you look at what the stock one has, right? This is fun. It has your ball joint here. This is a tractor. This is MX6000 Kubota. So this is a Category 1, Category 2. Here's the rooster in the back. So if you don't have this shim pin in here, this will accept Category 2 size pins. But you put this little shim in here. Most of the Kubotas, the MX5000 and above, at least, come with these, because my old tractor, which was a 5100, came with this Category 1, Category 2. The top link up here, this is a Category 1, but down there is a Category 2. It has the bushing, so if you have a Category 2 implement, you swap this around, because it's a Category 1 hookup here, but this ball end here will accept a Category 2 size. Now, that's irrelevant to what we're talking about, but I wanted to point that out, that this model is like that, so it does factor in. You need to have this ball joint adapter, which most tractors come with different fittings like that. So if we go over here, sorry for the noise, this is the finished one. And basically what this does is when you're in operation mode, hook something up, you pull this pin up, you put this here, and there you go. If you're already hooked up, you pull this up, you push this out of the way, this locks in, and then it locks your implement down in here, and this can't open up because you have this guard here. But again, to open it up, it's hard to do it with one hand. It's spring-loaded. But what that allows you to do is you can back right into your implement that has, you know, a set width, which most implements have a set width, which is roughly, I don't know what the size is on this tractor, but it fits the implements that I have. And then you have your top link, which will come down, and that can be adjusted, your pitch up and down, by turning these little handles. So the way you hook this up, basically you have your pin here. Let's see if we can get down here. You have your main pin here that goes through your ball socket, which is this one here. And you have these are spacer pins or spacer bolts, basically, with lock nuts on it. And then you have a piece here that goes across the top to stop it from flexing this way. And then there is a shim in the back here. And this is locked in. Now, it does move, but it's not moving within this housing. I'll pull this out. Maybe that'll give you a better idea. You can, on these Kubotas, you can pull these out if you're trying to line something up, and as you line it up, these will get pushed in automatically eventually, and then they'll lock in, and then you're locked in. It gives you a bit more flexibility with how things are lined up. So that's basically what it looks like installed. Key thing is you want to make sure this is straight, and then what this one is. Again, if you move these in and out, your tracking bars here, this obviously won't stay straight. It has a little bit of play, but not many, because that's what this is supposed to be for. You want to have this that doesn't have tons of play in it. But again, if you're running mostly the same type of implements, you're going to have the same width anyway, so you're not going to be messing with these. Now, one thing that is good is that these will accept a postal auger. If you have a postal auger, obviously this goes away. Your top link is the top link of the postal auger, which attaches right down here. And then this will accept those things. The quick attach that I had doesn't accept it because you have the up and down here and you don't have a free top link. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring you guys back down here and I'll show you exactly how I install this thing. Alrighty, so we're back down here. You guys can see this pretty good, I think. And I'll try to walk you through it. See if I can get a little closer for you guys. Walk you through exactly what you do. Now, if you want to wear gloves for this, it is recommended because these do have a bit of, especially because it's a new tractor, a new piece here, it does have a bit of metal filings that can get stuck in your hands. So the first thing that you got to do is you got to put in a spacer. Because what happens if you put this thing on like this, it wobbles, right? So you have these spacers. This is a 1/4 inch. It also comes with, or excuse me, this is a 3/8. It also comes with a 1/4 inch spacer. And the first thing you do is you want to bang that little bit of piece into like that, and you want to put it in here. And then you want to get your big pin, which I have right here. You slide this in like this. And then depending on how your setup is, the bolts that come with it doesn't fit mine properly. So this is a pin that I already have. And you might have to get your hammer in here just to tap this through. That's one thing, the fittings that come with this thing don't actually fit my category 1. Now, maybe that's a difference between Canada and US, which wouldn't make sense because Kubotas are found in the United States as well. And here you have your little kind of linch pin that just connects on the other side. So you see how this is wobbly now, but it's less play like this. You want to have less play, which is exactly what we have. Now, the next step, get the grease off my hands, is you have these spacer bolts right here. These spacer bolts, and what they do is they go in, you guys can see this, they go in each side here. I'm just going to get them started. I'll use my impact wrench to drive them in a bit, and they have a double bolt setup, or well, a bolt and a nut setup, because the nut will act as a locker. These are grade 8 bolts, so they are made for this type of application. They are stronger bolts, these brass, well, not brass, but the brass coloring bolts. So I'm going to back the camera up just a little bit because I want to get my my drill in here. And just use a, where's my socket at? Use a 9/16 socket or a 9/16 wrench. You can use an adjustable, but one like 9/16 fits this. But I have my impact drill. So what do you want to do is you want to try to line this up so that these are straight across from each other, which it is lined up like that. You want to drive these in, not too crazy much. Just so they kind of start snugging up a bit. If they get too much, you back it off a little bit. And some of these don't exactly line up the way I would think they would line up, but it's good enough. Now, what you could also do is you could take yourself a broomstick. This one's a little bit big, but you could lay this in here, and that'll kind of help square this up if you want to do something like that. And I just snug these in a little bit, just so it's snug. And then I'll come back with my actual, my ratchet here, my socket set. And then this, I don't need this anymore. I can just use my eye for that. Because the idea is if you have this too wonky, like if you have it too kind of out of place here, when you drop your pins in, they're going to be sitting like this. Maybe that's a little extreme, but you want to have them sitting in exactly parallel with each other. So that's why you have to kind of line things up. For me, the last time I pulled this out to give me a bit more space, but I don't really believe I need that for right now here. I can bring you guys in a little bit closer now, so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So you have the shim in the bottom. I just whacked myself with the top link. So you have this lined up. It looks like it's lined up pretty good here. So you want to take another look in here. You want to hand tighten these up till they're a bit snug. Now they may not look the same. Both sides may not have the same amount of gap. It's just how your tractor's laid out, because my pins are set up a bit differently. And again, it's all about how you have it. Now, when you start hooking this up, you know, to use, you could very easily, I'm going to back that one off. You can make adjustments. All you got to do is loosen these bolts, and you can adjust this a little bit. But I think I'm going to tighten this one up a little. I think that actually looks pretty good there, to be honest with you. So we'll snug these up. And you kind of want to rotate which ones you do. You don't want to do the same one, because you want to make sure they're all being snugged kind of similar. Now we can tighten. Then you want to tighten them down pretty good. Now you don't want to, again, tight is tight. You don't want to go too crazy with this. It's not like these are preventing it from coming off. That's what this is. Like, this can't come off unless that big pin is not in there anymore. And then we're snugging these down pretty good. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, because you don't want to, now again, like I said, this, because I have a category 2, category 1, I should have almost purchased the category 2 of this, but the problem is that I don't want this to be category 2. I'd rather have my spacers inside the housing than have it to adjust the spacers every time I want to put an implement on. That's the only issue. There is no category 2/1 where this is a 1 and then this is a 2. So it's a bit kind of not exact what it should be, but it'll still work perfectly fine. And then these nuts here, you want to just finger tighten them down. Now obviously you can't use your socket set for that, so you just use your wrench here. You can use your open end or whatever, and you just want to snug these down pretty good, because these locked in will prevent this nut from coming back out, because it's basically locking itself inside. It's used a lot with certain types of implements, and different tractor things have a double nut setup, because then you're guaranteed, or mostly guaranteed, that it's not going to come. There we go. That's pretty good there. That's not going to come off. Now the last part you need is you need this piece here. this U-bolt. Basically what this does is it goes down along here, in between down here. Now this is a little bit thin metal. I'm not very happy about how thin this metal is down here. You guys can kind of tilt you down a bit. But basically what this is for is to hold this piece snug, because it still has a bit of play in it. Just to prevent it from having that play. This is going to go in here, and this is going to take a double nut setup. But you don't want to tighten both nuts. If I can get the first one on, geez. You don't want to tighten both nuts at the same time, like on the same side. You want to alternate. Get this one up in there. Get that up in there, good. There we go. So you want to kind of make sure this is parallel across. Finger tight these up, good to go. You want to get your socket back up, or you could use your wrench, doesn't matter. And then you want to start tightening these down. Now, my only complaint is that this metal here is very thin along the back. So if you're really cranking on these things, it'll actually bend that metal, which I'm not very happy about. I wish it'd be a little bit thicker. But again, this is just a bit, acting as a bit of a stabilizer. So you don't got to go crazy tight. Tight's tight. You know, it's one of those things where you can over tighten something and then you end up bending metal. Or if you're tightening with wood, you end up splitting wood. And there's no need for that. And then I'll switch back to my wrench. Open it a wrench, and then again you use your double nut setup here. Basically this is locking this nut to here, and it makes it that much harder for the first nut to wiggle its way off. I'm gonna take this up like this. Alrighty guys, let me pull you back here, and now we're installed. Both of these are installed. You can see how it works here. Most of my implements, well, almost all of them, the spacing between these two things are the same, which typically most category 1 stuff is the same, because that can be used with a quick hitch. So like I have a blade, my snowblower, my brush hog, my tiller, I have a drag rake. All those things will fit this width. Now it does come, I don't have them here, it does come with spacer bar, which will hook in, sure, I think it actually hooks in under here when these aren't on, to line up a certain width that you want to have. But I know my width, and again, if I need to change the width of this, all I gotta do is pull this pin, cotter pin underneath, pull this pin, and these slide in, because these are fully adjustable kind of swing arms, I guess. So there you go. So this will make it a lot easier for me to hook up implements, because I'll back up to them. This up here is going to stay up out of the way. Your your top link's going to stay out of the way. I'll be able to back straight up, get under something, because most things, you know, they have 3-point connection at the top, these two sides. The easiest one is to get under with these, and then you don't have to worry about anything that's on top of it, because most things have a bit of metal that goes like this for your top link, and if you have your quick hitch, it'll get in the way. Having this will really help with that, I believe. All right, guys. I'm just holding the whole tripod here. Thank you guys for joining me. It's nice, like 20-some degrees, 22, 23 degrees today. Today is Friday, March 12th, I think. It's whatever the Friday is. March 12th, I believe. Nice sunny day. Next week is not going to be as warm, but that's okay. It'll still be good enough for me to be outside. I'm feeling, you know, I try to get my work done in the morning because my legs still bother me. At the time of recording of this video, cut. All right, guys. That'll do it here. Hopefully this helps you guys out. If you want any more information about this, I'll leave a link to the quick attaches or the quick hitches or whatever you want to call them. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. I did get them through Amazon, but if you're in the States, you could order it likely just right from Pat's Equipment, or Pat's, I think it's called Pat something or other. I mean, the website will be in the link in the description below. And hopefully this helps you guys out if you're on the fence about getting something like this. I've yet to perform or use these. Once I do use them for a little while, I'll come back with a bit of a review, see if all the bolts held up, see if everything's kind of in place, if anything broke. I know they have a decent warranty on it, so if something breaks, you know, they'll replace it or at least help you out. I hope so, at least. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next farming video. And over there, just missed it, was a squirrel running across the yard. All right, guys, have a good one.